Today, we're going to be learning how to make Rave, Trance, Tommy, HOLOHAN, X Club style. You can get this full template, project files, samples, MIDI, presets, everything you just heard at the intro of this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Make sure to grab that. Let's dive in. Alright, we're at 148 BPM. First thing we got here is the bass line. So we're in the key of C major here. We're doing root, major 6th, major 3rd. And then it's this kind of bass line. If I turn off the side chain, you can really hear it. Where it's like da-da-da-da-da-da. So what this does is it creates like a nice groove. You still get that kind of trance thing. But it's very like rolling and energetic. And then you got to think also, like, if you're going to make this, you know, to be a bit more ravey with the trance, you're probably going to be playing a lot of, like, techno tracks and tracks that have rumble kicks with this in a set, right? So, like, you would want a bass line that, even though it's not going to be a rumble, it's going to be able to fit with that and it's going to kind of feel similar. And there you go, because this just fills up that whole space between each kick. So, for the sound on this one, it's using wavetable. We got this amber wavetable, and then I just have a basic saw wave as well. You can see we got a little bit of an envelope on the oscillator position. I also have a little LFO on there too. Yeah, just a little bit of motion, and then on the low pass filter as well to make it nice and punchy. We got a side chain, just side chaining it to this little click. It's muted, and then we have our pad. So yeah, this pad just plays one chord. I found that to work a little bit nicer, honestly, with the bass line and the lead, though. See, it really grounds it to, especially like this E here, this, like just having that push all the way through while the other things are changing does a lot. So for this one, what it's doing, it's playing just a C major chord. Right, but I've inverted it. I've taken the E, which, so normally the C major would probably look like this, right? Root, 3rd, 5th, basically. But I took the 3rd up an octave and the 5th down an octave, so it kind of spreads the chord out. Then for the actual sound, what's happening here, I'll turn off the effects. This is what the actual just wavetable patch sounds like. So it's this sines 1 wavetable and then a saw wave. I've got just a bit of unison on there on the noise. And then for movement, what we're doing here is I have this shaper. And as you can see, it's creating a trance gate. So we just have a da-da-da-da-da trance gate pattern in here. And then I have it going to a volume, which is going all the way down and then back up with this pattern. And there you go, perfect trance gate in Ableton. I've got a high pass, I've got a reverb, and then a side chain. And yeah, if you want this trance gate, definitely click that link at the top of the description. It's available on there. Then we've got our lead. Now, what makes this lead work, and what makes it work really well, also like in context, so as you can see, it's a very minor sounding lead, but we are in a major key, right? This is in C major. So what happens is you kind of work with these notes, like, for example, you see here, I'm using the root and the major 7th and like kind of going between them. Right, so it creates this very melancholy thing. Like, we're actually walking down to the 3rd down here, right? And even when it goes up, that's still only the major 6th. So it's like kind of treating the major key, but almost like a minor key. Now, for the actual sound, this is a very simple sort of sound. I was trying to recreate this track from... You can see we've got a saw wave, and then just another one detuned a bunch. Classic unison mode with like not that much unison, honestly. Delay, distortion, which is important. Here's without it. With it. See, it's very subtle. It's not like a really obvious, like super crunchy distortion, but it just adds that high end like warmth and sort of like oomph to it, right? And then we just have a side chain. Then we got our drums. Now, we are going ravier here, so this is going to be a lot more like techno. Like, especially when you hear it with the bass line. Right, it is like, there's definitely trance stuff here. Like, for example, this 909 kick would also work in a trance track. But you notice it's the kind of thing where it could be working really well in trance, but it also could work in techno, right? You know, and they really are kind of like, honestly, one and the same. Just trance and techno go in opposite directions, right? We have like a ride, side chain, you can see. And this nice fat open hi-hat. Plus, even this is like for the snare, we're just taking a breakbeat snare and then including. You can hear it sounds really cool like that. And again, this is like very warehouse rave techno aesthetic. Get these closed hi-hats, which you can see have a little bit of swing on them with this groove over here. Then we also have some live loops. You can hear 3 pretty different ones that kind of add up and create one loop. And then we're side chaining those, and that just gives you that last bit of like, you know, kind of steady percussion, rolling. And then the last thing we got here is a little vocal. So this is like the kind of vocals I've been hearing in these tracks. You know, what they do is it's a lot of really pitched up vocals. Both X Club and the other guys are doing this a lot, where you just kind of, yeah, it's like, even if you could get the vocal, like this vocal could also work down here, right? But it's like that pitched up 90s remix sort of sound, right? This is one of the vocals from my core trance pack. I'll link that at the top of the description because it's on sale for a limited time only. So I've taken it. I'll show you what it sounds like dry. I used the wet stem in here. Again, I'm trying to get that like remix sampled sort of feel. So like if you're sampling vocals or if you're trying to create vocals that sound sampled, you would use vocals that kind of already have reverb and delay built into the audio file, right? Just like if you were taking a cappella out of a song, because then when you pitch it, you get all these cool artifacts like you can hear. The reverb and delay getting kind of weird when they get pitched up and stuff too. So it's just a really great way to like just get something with a bit more life. I've got this going through a bit of delay. Bit of reverb, side chain, and then a high pass. The side chain is very underrated on the vocals. Like you definitely don't want it to be overdoing it, but a little bit really helps it just make the whole thing. It really fits into the beat and grooves a lot better with everything else. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Definitely pick up this template at the top of the description. I think this is a really solid one, and it's only available for a limited time. You can also check out Core Trance at the top of the description if you want some more sounds like this and a full library with everything. Thanks for the support, guys. Every little bit helps so I can keep bringing you guys videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.